Hello everyone, welcome to CyberScoop TV. Greg Otto, your managing editor here. We're coming to you from the 2017 Black Hat Conference, and I'm talking with Justin Harvey, the managing director of Accenture Security's Global Incident Response. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Talk to me about, you've been working a lot with purple teaming and this whole idea of how organizations need to really, put themselves through a stress test when it comes to cybersecurity. Talk to me a little bit about what you've been working on.
Organizations globally are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on protecting themselves, defending themselves against cyber attacks. And one of the ways that they've been doing that is something called a tabletop, right? It's where they come in and they simulate, I guess to say in Dungeons and Dragons style, where they're sitting around the table and they're saying, well, what happens if this happens? And they drill. It's not really an effective means of defending against determined adversaries.
Okay.
And so what we've done is we've paired our FusionX Red Team, which is a hyper-realistic, zero-knowledge, zero-notice adversary simulation against a corporation. I guess the best way to put it, I hate using the H word, but it's more like hacking the enterprise from the outside.
Okay.
And then we pair that with my blue team. So my incident response threat hunting team, these are the same men and women who are on the front lines every week with our customers, helping to work through their incidents. Well, they sit in a passive mode in the Security Operations Center and the incident response team. So as the red team hacks, the blue team is sitting and they observe, they coach, and they recommend based upon what they're seeing. So it's more, I like to use the analogy of a friendly sparring partner. Rather than if you know that you're gonna have to fight someone toe to toe, and rather than hit a bag every day, which is what I think a tabletop is, it allows you to kind of get in the ring and spar with someone who's friendly.
Right, it's real-time threat actionability there. I mean, you're giving people scenarios that they're going to possibly undergo sometime, and it's nice to have a coach in the room instead of trying to figure it out on their own.
Exactly, and it's important to note that it's the simulation sometimes is the SOC and the IR team doesn't know that a red team is going to be attacking that week or that day that we are there. Sometimes we do let them know so they can explain, oh, why is Accenture Security here? Why is the FusionX Blue team here watching what I do? So that we've got various models, and if the SOC and the IR team doesn't detect our red team, then we've got a couple options. We can, the blue team can kind of point in that direction. Maybe you should check that screen. Maybe you should check that event. Or we can actually call over to the red team and say, ratchet up a notch so that they become a little bit noisier to enable the customer's blue team to actually respond.
Right. So with the work that you've been doing, I saw that there is necessarily an argument about effectiveness versus maturity. Now, I hear that and I think, well, aren't they one and the same? If you're more mature, you should be more effective. Is that the right thinking, or am I thinking against what the logic actually is there?
Well, the way that I see it, I don't know if I would say that is right or wrong, but the way that we see it is, for the last decade, I've been doing a lot of, I guess you could say, paperwork exercises with customers. The traditional SOC assessment or IR assessment. You bring in a bunch of people, we say, give me your documents, and we look at them and we interview the people. And I got to tell you, the clients that we have had a false sense, many of our clients have had a false sense of security. They have some really great talkers, they've got some great documentation, they feel like they have the best technology, but when we run the red team against them, we run all over their network. So you can still look really good on paper, and we call that maturity, right? We give a score of like 3.5 or 4 out of 5. But then in practice, we still have to test the effectiveness of the maturity of the organization. And that's how we do it with the red team.
Great. Okay. So with this exercise, how would you recommend a SOC or an enterprise go to their C-suite and take this information and make it actionable intelligence? Because a lot of what security people do is figure out how the threats are coming in, or it's just a lot of the how, but the C-suite wants to know, what is the threat and what are you going to do about it? So how are you taking the how and changing it into the why and the what that the C-suite needs to hear about?
Well, a little bit of a soapbox comment here is that many times the C-suite doesn't really want to know the answer. The board absolutely wants to know the answer. They have, I always liken it to the question of, we're good, right? That's all they want to know. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars, and they're like, we're good, right? The most effective organizations that we see are ones where the board is working in concert with the CISO or the Chief Risk Officer or the Chief Security Officer or the CIO, and that there's an open conversation about always getting better. The organizations that I see that are struggling are ones that the CISO is always saying, I got it, I got it. She says, no problem, I've made effective use of the board's money. But really, we should be always looking for that next level of maturity and next level of effectiveness. So many times our buyers are the board, and many times our buyers are the C-suite. And I guess at the end of the day, the advice that I give to CISOs is never get lulled into complacency. Never think that you have the best technology, the best people, and the best processes. There's always something that you can do to ratchet up your maturity or your effectiveness.
Great. Justin, appreciate your insight. Thanks for talking
I
to us
appreciate
today.
it. Thanks.
For all of our videos, check out our YouTube channel. And for more on Black Hat and all things cybersecurity, check out cyberscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.